I'd like to welcome everyone to the Pharr International Bridge Board meeting for Wednesday, February the 19th, 2020. The time is 12 p.m. And we're going to go ahead and start with a roll call.
Edgar Delgadillo,
Here.
Tony Martinez,
Here.
Larry Hernandez, Adalberto Campero,
Here.
Luis Flores,
Present.
Mayor Ambrosio Hernandez, Mayor Pro Tem Bobby Carrillo, Interim City Manager Ed Wiley,
Here.
Assistant City Manager Annalise,
Here.
Bridge Director Luis Bazan,
Present.
Director of Operations Fred Rowan,
Present.
Finance Director Carla Saavedra, here, City Engineer Omar Alzadua.
Need a motion to excuse Larry Hernandez.
A motion.
A motion by Mr. Martinez.
Second.
Second by Mr. Flores. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Now, can you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and the invocation by Luis? Thank you.
Please join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Let us pray. Dear Lord, you know that my business is my passion. Please help me to run it in an efficient and godly manner. I ask that you give me wisdom where I need it and to lead me in the changes on the road ahead. I invite you to speak to me when I'm not sure what to do next and to give me comfort when there are trials ahead. Give me the discernment to hear your voice clearly. Amen.
Amen. Okay, we're going to go to item 2, which is the consent agenda. We need an approval for line item A and C. Item B is going to be talked about in executive session. We need a motion.
Motion.
A motion by Mr. Martinez,
Second.
second by Mr. Flores. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. We're going to go ahead and go to item 3, which is the Director's Administrative Report, and we'll start with the Crossings and Revenues Report for 2020, January 2020.
Good afternoon, board members. For the record, Fred Brown, Director of Operations at the Pharr Bridge. I'd like to present the crossings and revenues for the month of January, fiscal year 2019-2020. On page number 3 on your package, we have the car crossings. These are cars that are traveling from U.S. to Mexico. Total car crossing for the month of January, we crossed a total of 44,720 cars, which represents a decrease of 20,339 cars, which represents, we show a decrease of 31.21% compared to last year's same month. Also, I'd like to present the other crossings from other ports of entry. We have Gateway, a loss of 5,030 cars. Veterans, a loss of 1,704 cars. Free Trade Los Indios, a loss of 819 cars. A combination of all 3 bridges, a loss of 7,553 cars. Eagle Pass, they had a loss of 45,574 cars. Laredo, 27,575 lost. McAllen Hidalgo, they had a loss of 20,664. On Salduas, they had an increase of 1,728. A combination of both bridges, a decrease of 18,936. Progreso Bridge, we have a loss of 9,481 cars. The Donner Bridge, they had a loss of 7,227 cars. And the Pharr Bridge, we have a loss of 20,339 cars. Again, board members, chairman, this is across the board. Every single bridge show a loss on cars. It's a trend. Also, I'd like to comment that our bridge director will give you an update on the reasons to why we're losing cars on his report. On page number 4, we have the truck crossings for the month of January. These are trucks that are traveling from the U.S. to Mexico. We have a total of 55,210 trucks, which represents a loss of 374 trucks, which represents a decrease of 0.67% compared to last year's same month. Also, I'd like to present the truck crossing from other ports of entry. We have Veterans Tomates, an increase of 1,914 trucks. Free Trade Los Indios, they had a loss of 415 trucks. A combination of both bridges, they had an increase of 1,499 trucks. Eagle Pass, they had a loss of 393 trucks. The Laredo Bridge, they had a loss, an increase of 221 trucks, I'm sorry. In the Pharr Bridge, we have a loss of 374 trucks. Progreso Bridge, they had an increase of 1,780 trucks. And the Ensalduas Bridge, they had an increase of 223 trucks for the month of January. On page number 5, page number 5, we have the northbound. These are trucks that are traveling from Mexico to the U.S. Total trucks crossing for the month of January, we crossed a total of 58,580 trucks, which represents an increase of 64 trucks, or an increase of 0.11%. I also like to state that the agriculture trucks at the Pharr International Bridge total, agriculture trucks, we total 18,967 trucks for the month of January, which represents a total crossings of 32% of all the imports that are coming from Mexico to the U.S. And last page, number 6. Revenues, total revenues collected for the month of January, we collected a total of $1,312,020. We show an increase of 54,127, or an increase of 4.30% for the month of January. Overall, for the month from October to January, we collected a total of $4,992,755. We show an increase of $133,825. Board members, this concludes my report. If you have any questions,
You have any questions?
again, Mr. Balsana, Bridge Director, will elaborate a little bit more on the factors as to why we're losing cars and trucks as well on his report.
I just want to bring up something, maybe Tony can elaborate it. It's, we used to be almost at 40% on produce. We're at 32, and we're still, going above our numbers every month. So I wondered, we have any idea what has increased that?
Yes, there's several factors. One of the factors, and again, it's the overweight, the coronavirus. I'm going to leave my director to further give you give you a further detailed explanation on that.
All right, thank you for it.
Thank you very much.
A lot of the tropical items are kicking in right now. So you have mangoes, you have more watermelons coming in. Mangoes will carry us through the summer months, so that's going to be one of the big items. But more apples are coming in. This is also the time of the year where the commodities start increasing on price. So from here till May, April is when imports, as far as prices on the actual commodities. So consumption will go up as the country gets warmer. North America gets warmer. The trends will start increasing, and prices will continue to go up. So this will be good for crossing standpoints for the next couple of months.
Go ahead.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, Luis Bazan, Bridge Director for the record. Yes, as Fred was pointing out, obviously there's many different factors that are affecting not just, car traffic. I think it's fairly, it's self-explanatory. We had an immigration crisis that hit us hard last year, causing the federal government to be mandated to set up a queue in the middle of that bridge to detain the proposed or the people that were trying to get across the bridge, illegally, or the asylum seekers. So obviously that has caused us to get into a mindset where we're not allowing car traffic through our bridge anymore. Eventually, as I've been mentioning in the last few years, and these are talks we've been having with our counterparts in Mexico and the U.S. at the federal, state level, that this bridge may become full commercial at one point. So we have to start thinking of that. We have to start thinking like that, because at the end of the day, the numbers, if you look at the studies that were put out 3 to 4 years ago, they show an increase both in produce, they show an increase in automotive, they show an increase in the different types of industries that are out there. But at the end of the day, these factors that are affecting us now, and I can go through all of them, but I'd rather discuss some of these issues in executive session because it's nothing new. We're seeing it across the board. We're seeing some of the biggest, land border crossings also have a decrease across the board. Production obviously is slow. Transportation, there's been a disruption in transportation, driver shortages. you name it. I mean, you talk to the Maquila Association, you talk to Index in Mexico, you talk to STMA, you talk to some of these organizations that we're already members of, and that's what we're trying to do right now. I think we're just trying to find out and pinpoint the exact cost. I don't think we're gonna find an exact cost. That's why my opening prayer was about business. It's about continued business growth and prosperity, because we could all use it right now. We run the bridge like a business, so we could all use those prayers right now to ensure that these trucks keep crossing through our bridge, and to ensure that we're providing the services and the safety that these shipments require in order to have a more efficient crossing. So again, I can go into more detail, but I think everybody here who is an entrepreneur, and by the way, happy National Entrepreneurship Week. It's this week, February 15th through the 22nd, so thank you for everything you do. And again, that prayer was intended for you as well. We want to make sure that we continue pressing forward. We're gauging what's going on through all our members, trade organizations. There's going to be different factors along the way. If you talk to our friends at CBP, they're going to tell you, I don't think we're going to get back to normal anytime soon. We just had an update at the Index Maquila Association meeting last week on Wednesday, and you know, everybody's kind of on the same page. So as we continue to hopefully progress in these matters and have more accurate information, we'll be bringing you that information so everybody can be in the know.
We don't have any other questions. I guess we'll go to the next item, which is the finance report.
Yes, so, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, we do have Carla Saavedra here, Finance Director, in case there are any questions. We are at about 33% of our budget right now. According to a conversation we just had, it looks like all departments, including the bridge, are doing very well. So things are tracking well financially for the bridge, regardless of the economic uncertainties outside of our internal processes.
Do you have any questions? No. We'll go to the next item, which is the engineer's report.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, we do have Omar Ansaldúa, our city engineer. If there are any questions, real quick, before he gets into the technical aspect of things, we are tracking well also on our projects. We just had our pre-bid meeting for DAP 15 projects for the 2 northbound commercial lanes and the 2 northbound exit lanes. Again, regardless of the matters that are happening outside of our understanding or control, we are moving forward with these projects because these are projects we've had in the mix since 2015. So I'm happy to say that if all goes well, we'll be doing bid openings on February the 27th for these 2 projects. We did do a walkthrough with the folks that were here, and then we're hoping to break ground on these 2 projects sometime in early summer 2020. Our building, our offices are being expanded, as you know. We should, if things are going according to plan and the weather permits, we'll be in our offices by May, end of April, early May.
I guess just to add, I just want to echo, yeah, we do have a bid opening next Thursday for the FY15. We have been getting good interest from contractors. At the pre-bid, we had 3 contractors, 1 from out of state, and we've been getting a lot of questions online, so that shows a lot of interest. So we are expecting, a good turnout on bids, and hope we get a good bid next week. And then, like Luis mentioned, the building's about 80%, 83% complete, and hopefully, we're anticipating March, but, we've added a couple things to it, so I might push the date a little further. Other than that, FY16, which is the Ag Lab and the dry dock and cold inspection facilities, those are looking to track later in the year to go out for bids. Once construction gets going on FY15, we can't have too much activity at the bridge, so we're limited with that. So hopefully, we've turned in everything on the DAA, all the exhibits, so that's getting reviewed by the feds for that agreement, the donations acceptance agreement. So hopefully we get that back, maybe any 60 to 90 days. So that's where we're at with all the projects with the bridge.
And again, as you can imagine, there are different factors also, a lot of different folks that we have to run these documents through. It's not just federal government has two different agencies. The GSA has the final say. So as Omar mentioned, like for the DAP 16 projects, we did submit specifically more than anything the financial capability of the city for these projects. Fortunately for us, we have secured federal funds through CBIs and Rider 11B funds for these projects. But at the end of the day, you know, they have to have final concurrence with CBP and us to ensure that these projects meet the expectations and they're not going to interfere with any operations that CBP has in mind.
All right, do we have any other questions? We'll go to the director's report.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, city administrators, we just had a Bridge Connect session on January the 23rd. I'm happy to announce that we had almost 160 attendees. This is something that we've been doing. We do this pretty much quarterly, the ACE update, because it's something that where we need to get the trade up to speed on ACE. There's a very small percentage of our users that are complying with ACE, so it's important. This is something that Freddie's been spearheading for a couple of years now. And this session, the Bridge Connect sessions, are something that, as you know, this is a value added service that we bring to the trade at no charge. So it's important for us to continue that. That's part of also of our business retention and expansion program that we do have in place. Again, we're trying to keep our trade happy, trying to keep them informed of what's going on. There are different issues. I'm sure that here in the next couple of months, we're probably going to have a USMCA update on what's been going on, also what's going on with Canada. So again, different factors, that's what Bridge Connect is for. If there are any issues or any topics that any of you would like for us to consider, I believe we're already planned out through May, if I'm not mistaken. So we're ahead of the game. We have these sessions once a month, and we're planned out through May already. But if there's need for changes, we can make those adjustments as needed. So just some pictures. Yeah, about 160 people. Oh. Also, what we started to do with Bridge Connect, this is something that I've been talking to our chamber about, is partnering up. Obviously, they're in the business of attracting new members to the chamber. The more members they have, the better, the more positive their bottom line will be. So we're also helping them out. We're inviting them to our sessions. They can participate with their chamber ambassadors and try and get some of these businesses signed up. If you look at the list, there are currently several members from South Pharr or from the industry, either produce or some of these folks that are in trade and logistics and customs brokerage that are signing up as chamber members as well. This is the one for February the 13th. Obviously, ELD, that's one of the factors that, as we know, has also been affecting transportation. There's the chamber doing their job. March 19th, that's the next one. So for anybody who wants to send their personnel, that would be the appropriate time to do so and sign up for that. Also, real quick, I'd like to mention in my director's report that, we always thank our produce sponsors. Every year, we reached out to them for two major events, one of them being the start of the produce season and one of them being the State of the City address. So we're hosting a produce appreciation luncheon for them this Friday, the 21st, from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m., because all of them show up at different times at Buffalo Wings and Rings in South Pharr. Well, actually, it's on the other side of the street, but that's what's closest to them. That's what works for them. That's where we can attract them. And we always give them an update on what's going on with our projects. They're always interested and they're always happy to assist us. But one of the challenges we had this year is collecting the produce. A lot of these shipments, due to the weather in Mexico, were coming in late. Fortunately for us, we got very fresh produce, specifically for the State of the City. But a lot of these produce shipments were coming in late because of the weather situation and the climate changes in Mexico. At least that's what we're hearing from Texas International Produce Association and our other member associations and our customers. So just some factors there to consider. Also, on my director's report, I'd like to announce that I've been invited to participate at the Real Estate Summit in New York, as I'm going to be in a panel to discuss USMCA. So this is something I believe some commissioners and some board members are going to be attending. This will be next week, February 26th to the 28th. And this is to kind of, again, continue the dialogue on a platform that allows us to understand what's going on, not just locally, not just internationally, but globally. We are a global bridge. We are an international bridge, so we want to make sure that we're learning as much as we can, and that they also learn about what we're doing here, hopefully in the hopes that we can attract more business through this bridge. Also, I'll be speaking at the South Texas Manufacturers Association meeting in March. Same thing. They invite us every year just to give an update on where we are on our projects and to ensure the trade that, again, that we're still investing. So one of the things we've been working with lately is, Pharr International Bridge, we're investing big for faster trade. It's a tagline we've been working with, and again, it's just a matter of getting out there, doing the outreach. As I've always said, even though we're a bridge team and I could be the director or whatever you want to call me, at the end of the day, I'm the salesperson for the bridge, and I'm going to be here, to ensure that we continue to drive business this way. When you look at things, we're not just trying to attract a crossing or two. We're attracting business to come to Pharr, set up in Pharr, expand in Pharr, and that'll equal to more crossings down the road.
When is the STMA meeting, please?
It's March the 13th. And that's what I have for my director's report at this time.
Do you have any other questions?
March 13th. Luis, can you send me an invite for the STMA?
Sure, absolutely.
Also,
All right, I guess we'll go to item 4 and line item A, which is discussion and action, if any, on the renewal of dedicated internet access services agreement and maintenance with Web Vision for a period of 2 years for cameras in Mexico. We need a motion.
Where are we?
4, line item A.
How do you feel about this, Luis?
Well, we've been doing it since 2016. If you might not be aware, we have cameras set up in Mexico. These are cameras we use on a daily basis to monitor traffic in Mexico as they're approaching and exiting the aduana. We have 4 cameras that also overlook the scales that we have there with Grupo Jugas, and to see that operation. If there's an issue, if we discover an issue where there's no traffic on top of the bridge, it doesn't look right, we look at those cameras, we have access to them on our phones. So this is just a continuation of that. What we wanted to do, instead of coming back to you once every year, we decided to go with a 2-year. With a 2-year agreement this time, and obviously the maintenance is separate from it, but it's part of the same agreement.
Is this at the same rate we're being paid?
The same thing.
Okay.
The rate is the same. Nothing has changed, and we've been with them since January 2016.
It's just an extension.
It's an extension, yes.
You're good.
We need a motion.
I'll
Something
motion.
that we need.
We have a motion by Mr. Martinez,
Second.
second by Mr. Flores. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. For item B, we're gonna go to executive session. In accordance with Chapter 551 of the Texas Government Code and Section 551.071 to .087, the Pharr International Bridge hereby gives notice that it will now meet in a closed executive session to discuss the items listed in the public portion of the meeting. The time is 12:23, and we're also gonna review the item on the consent agenda, also 2B. Thank you. And the time is 12:36. And for item 2B, we're gonna go ahead and table. And we need a motion to table.
A motion?
We have a motion by Mr. Martinez, second by Mr. Flores. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right. For item 4B, we need a motion to table.
A motion?
A motion by Mr. Martinez,
Second.
second by Mr. Flores. All in favor, say aye.
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 All right, motion carries. And we need a motion to adjourn.
A motion?
A motion by Mr. Martinez,
Second.
second by Mr. Flores. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Very
everyone.
much. Have a good day.